Before and after practice. Hello, I am artist Muhu. In this lesson, you can learn 12 types of pencil shading techniques. I'm using a sphere shape to show you these techniques because they are a handy way to practice shading. Tonal. Usually we use pencil pressure, so pressing on harder or lighter, but there are a couple of tricks that you can use to improve the range of tones. Quite often we practice pencil pressures on a scale like this. However, when you then come to shade at your drawing still, we then see the same thing repeated in your drawing. So you get a striped effect, or worse, you only ever get the dark tones. Now obviously we want to be able to reproduce all of these with a smooth gradient. Circular motion. Next sphere, I'm using a circle technique. This you can draw in a circular motion and make the little circles blend into each other as you go, personally. I like to use an overhand technique to do this, where I hold my pencil at a lower angle to use the side of the pencil tip. This way I get a smoother and more realistic looking result, and as you can see, again, the more layers we stack on top of each other, the darker. It gets, if you're not used to an overhand technique, it can be a bit tricky in the beginning, but after a few times you can quickly get the hang of it on sphere. Hatching. Hatching technique, as you can see, I sketch parallel lines in the same direction to block in some of the light tones. Then for the next layer, I keep drawing lines on top of the first one. But I don't go as far, and as I keep doing this layer by layer, I'm slowly getting a gradient effect. If you want to, you can also experiment with how much pressure you apply on the pencil, or even using a darker pencil. Next one, I'm using a cross hatching technique. To do this, we build up the first layer in the same way, just hatching in the same direction. But for the second layer, we're changing it up by hatching in a different direction, hence the name cross hatching. As we move on, we also draw shorter lines, and eventually the more lines are crossing on top of each other, the more saturated it gets here. I'm drawing in different random directions for the sake of this video. Contour. In order to effectively shade the form, we first need to understand the form. We're shading. Next step, we turn this flat circle into a sphere using cross contour lines to know the angle and perspective of shape. After finding the right angle and perspective for our circle, which are the edges and contours of the apple within this circle, the difference between contour and cross contour is that we typically use contour lines to define the edges of the objects and some details within them. They help us identify the shape. Cross contour. Next, we draw cross contour lines which travel across the form and flow over the form of the object. They indicate the direction and showing us the lumps, the bumps, and other details we need to make a realistic illustration. It includes changes of planes within the form. After that, using this division, I can get a general map for shading my shape. This cross control serves as a skeleton form or guide for our shading. Stippling. I'm creating value by stippling out my dots in a certain way. So you see, the closer together my dots are, the darker my drawing appears to be. So what I do is I start with the very lightest area, kind of block that in, and then take my very darkest area, start adding dots. You can't even really see it, but my pencil's moving very fast from there. I slowly work my way out into the lighter area by very carefully spreading my dots, putting them right in the middles of each other very carefully. I spent a lot of my time doing, and of course I picked a sphere to which has to look very regular. Flowing. Draw a simple sphere. Shade using only curved strokes. No blending tools, just pencil. Build 3 to 5 value layers slowly. Your pencil strokes curve around the object, following its shape. It instantly creates volume and realism. Use long, curved strokes. Light pressure at first, let the lines wrap around forms. Keep spacing even. Change value by layering more lines, not pressing harder. Dark to light. Dark to light shading is about gradually releasing pressure and lifting the pencil, so the value fades smoothly, no hard edges. Start in the darkest area, use a soft pencil, keep strokes long and consistent. Shade in one direction. Reduce pressure slowly, do not change speed abruptly. Let the pencil naturally lighten as your hand relaxes. Lift at the end of the stroke. Each stroke should fade out, not stop suddenly. This creates the smooth transition. Layer instead of pressing. Add more passes for darkness. Avoid pressing harder. It causes harsh lines. Scribble. Scribble shading, also called scumbling, uses loose overlapping marks to build value and texture. When done well, it looks energetic and dimensional, not chaotic. The key idea is value comes from density, not pressure. Dark areas is more scribbles packed together. Light areas is fewer, open scribbles. Pressure stays mostly light and consistent. Proper scribble technique is keep the motion loose, small, irregular loops, or zigzags. No straight lines. Let the wrist and elbow move freely, stay light with pressure. Feathering. Feathering is a shading technique where light, tapered strokes overlap to create smooth value transitions is especially useful for realistic drawings. What feathering looks like. Short strokes that start dark and fade to light. Each stroke lifts off the paper. Strokes slightly overlap like feathers. Think many soft fades instead of one heavy gradient. How to feather step by step is angle the pencil. Use the side of the lead, not the tip. Hold it farther back for control. Pull strokes in one direction. Start where it's darkest. Pull toward the light, lift gently at the end, layer gradually. First layer is very light, add more passes only in darker areas, keep stroke length consistent. Blending stump. Finally, we're going to add another tool, which is the blending stump. I start again with a circular motion. This is a bit easier to blend than, for example, the full lines in cross-hatching. As we are finished with the first layer, I use the blending stump in a circular motion without using too much pressure. As we build up layers again, we can use our pencil to make the right part a bit darker. And then we switch back to our blending stump and so on. Using the blending stump in between layers gives you a bit more control over the shading than if you, for example, only use it at the end of your drawing. This can cause smudges and less detail. This results in a special texture that you can only get from combining different techniques. Alright, now that we're done, let's look at the finished result. If you want to learn more, just click this video to learn the next one.